welcome to my channel. My name is Brandy, and today I'm going to be doing my Mythathon / August wrap-up. For Mythathon, I chose to be on two teams. Lauren's team, which is Team Oya, who is the goddess of air, and then Cindy's team, who is Team Hades, god of the underworld and fire. Anyway, so their elements are air and fire. Okay, so for the, let's see. So for Team Air, the first one is to read a book that takes place under hostile weather conditions. And I put Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. I don't know. Okay, so in this story, like, this lady, this noblewoman, is locked away in a tower, cemented into a tower, for reasons, and it's really cold, it's really hot. At one point, they're trying not to die, like, from being burned alive, and there's some stuff going on. So I'm counting that book for that prompt. And then the next prompt is to read a book with a character that must reinvent themselves. I went with Brightly Burning by Alexa Dunn. So I originally thought that it was Hugo. It was going to be Hugo. But thinking more about it, I think that the main character, I didn't forget her name, she kind of had to reinvent herself. Just to freaking survive. So I'm gonna go with that. And then the next one is to read a book with an unconventional woman. For that one, I used Book of 1,000 Days as well, because in this era, I guess you could say, like, women are property pretty much, and this noble woman refuses to marry the man that her father wants her to marry. So that's pretty unconventional for the times. And since she refuses to marry him, she gets locked away in a tower. And then the next prompt is to read a book with a number on the title. For that one, I also used a Book of 1,000 Days. 1,000. And the very last book was to read the group book, and that is 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I did not read that book, so I kind of failed. I think I made like an A-, something like that. Anyway, moving on. So for Team Hades, read a highly anticipated book, and I use A Curse So Dark and Lonely. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but really good. So the next prompt is to read a book where the protagonist is invisible to society, and I picked A Curse So Dark and Lonely for that one as well, because she has cerebral palsy, and she's pretty much used to people treating her like she can't do jack shit, even though she can. And there's that. The next prompt is to read a book that has been on your shelf too long. I used Brightly Burning. For that one, it's been about 2 years. The next one is to read a book where characters must escape an immoral rule, and I used Parasite by Darcy Coates. This is like a sci-fi thriller book. It was good. I mean, it was really good. The rule isn't set up, like the ruling system, I guess you could say, isn't set up quite yet at the beginning of the book. It like happens throughout the book, and the humans gotta like figure out what the fuck's going on and everything, and like how to deal with it, and how to stop it from happening. So that was a really good book, and it gave me the heebie-jeebies. And then the last prompt is to read the group book, which was A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I did that. So I made 100, a freaking plus, okay, on this challenge. I'm not really gonna go through all the books and everything. I'm in a bit of a time crunch, so I gotta kind of hurry a little bit. The first book that I read was The Rogue's War by Christy Caldwell. This is a historical romance book. The brother and sister were like not brother, they didn't act like brother and sister. I mean, I totally get that they had a really rough childhood, like growing up was like shitty, I get it, but the way that Riker treated Helena was just really shitty, you know? And I don't know, I just didn't really like the book. I didn't care about none of the fucking characters either. I gave it 2 stars. The next book that I read was Ferocious Secret of Cerise, book 1 by Stella Williams. It was a good paranormal urban fantasy book. Gave it 3 stars. I don't honestly remember a whole bunch about it. The next book that I read is Claimed by an Alien Warrior by Tiffany Roberts. I gave it 5 stars. It's a woman finds out that her freeloading boyfriend has like been cheating on her in their bed while she's off like at work. And she like kicks him out and everything, and then she's like, all right, I need to get away, so she's gonna move in with her friend. But on the way to move in, she meets a 4-eyed emerald green alien who is on the run from a section of the US government. And he kind of sort of kidnaps her slash convinces her to like help him find his spaceship so he can leave. And then it's their journey from west to east coast, I believe. And it's really fucking cute, y'all. It's really fucking cute. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely love it. It's really good. Like, if anyone wants to begin anywhere, this is a perfect book to begin with. And then I read Her Cold-Blooded Protector, Levick Invaders by Leah Lynette. This is book 1. It's like Earth has been taken over by this alien race, and kind of like knocked humans down a couple of pegs, right? So we're no longer top dogs. And then the Levicks are like, hey, you know, not all of them. Like some of them are kind of like, hey, this isn't cool. Like, you know, sure, we're giving them, you know, new technology, but they're kind of regressing. So let's integrate the humans with us, and you know, like so they can be better or whatever. And so the way they do that is to get humans to be their house cleaners. I gave the first book 4 stars. It was cute. The second book is Her Cold-Blooded Master. And this is like the governor dude, Levick, in this one city. And I don't know, I didn't really like it a whole bunch because like there was some serious flip-flopping on the dude's part, and the girl was just like, look, it's either gonna happen or not. And then the guy's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it was just like, it got really fucking annoying. So I gave that one 3 stars. Saving Ascara, number 1. And then there's a part 2 called Chasing Earth. I don't really remember a whole bunch about the books, but like the first book ended on such a cliffhanger, and I was like, wait, what's going on? Because you know, like with series, it usually follows one couple, and then a different couple, and then a different couple. No, it's the same fucking couple, like a couple of times, and then turns out she has more than one fated mate thing, and I get really bored. I give them both 3 stars. Again, I don't really remember anything. I read Bound by Her Alien, Balrog Mates, book 1 by Tempest Luna. I gave it 3 stars. There were some like vision kind of things and like super duper insta-lovey, and if it wasn't for those 2, like there would be no book, honestly. Like there was barely any plot, there was barely any character growth. It was just not a good, well, it wasn't bad, but I didn't exactly have fun. Alright, next I read The Shifter Bachelor, The Rare and the Unknown, book 1 by Shy August. This again is another fated mates book with like war elephants in it, which is really, really interesting. And it's an alpha female, right? So it was so great. But unfortunately, as soon as like the whole fated mate things it happened, like even though the girl was like, you know, well, can we get to know each other a little bit, please? The guy was just like all over her, and it was kind of meh. But I still gave it 4 stars. It was a good book. And then I read The Dark Beneath the Ice by Amanda Berube. I gave it 3 stars. It was very meh. Not a whole heck of a bunch happened, and then was like up and down, and then the ending was the most anticlimactic fucking bullshit I've ever read in my freaking life. It was so fucking boring. I got so mad that I read the entire book just to read that ending. It was fucking annoying. I'm sure there's some kind of like, you know, deep something in the book that we were supposed to, like some kind of theme or something, but I just didn't get it. It was just boring. The next book that I read was The Dark Ship by Philip P. Peterson. I gave this book 4 stars. This crew they're coming out from a war, and like their ship is gonna like probably explode, so they're like, oh shit, we need to like land and like get off before we die. And they come upon this like asteroid that turns out to be an alien ship, and they're like, what the fuck? So they're like, hey, why not? So they get off their ship onto the alien ship and then send their ship to blow up. And then it's a massive ship. It's got to be like probably a state, maybe not as big as Texas, but it's like a state big or something. It's huge. This ship is huge. And so they're like trying to like figure out, and then like they get on there and there's an AI talking to them, and they're like, okay, but why can't we go here? Like, what's going on? Why are these blocked off? There's like a whole bunch of things like going on. Unfortunately, kind of towards the end. Well, no. Okay, no, wrong book. Okay, so it was good. It was good. I didn't particularly like feel drawn to any of the characters, but I mean overall it was a decent story. The next book I read was Mission 1 by Samuel Best. So there's a company on Earth trying to get to Saturn to build the very first station, like satellite station, right? And I guess scientists found that there's like an alien ship there, and then they also find out that someone beat them to Saturn, and then so they're like, fuck this, we're gonna go anyway. And so like, but the astronauts on the ship don't know, and then they get told, and they're like, well fuck, whatever, might as well. And then some weird shit happens, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't like, it was adults, grown-ass fucking smart-ass adults making stupid fucking decisions, right? Just stupid decisions. I gave it 3 stars though. The next book that I read was Transport Death Mission by Philip P. Peterson. And in this world, if you commit murder, regardless of whether it was intentional or self-defense, you get put on death row. And you get slated for execution, which I got a bit of a problem with that. But moving aside from that little error, so these convicts are pretty much, or not convicts, these death row inmates are given a choice to do something for the government a certain amount of times, and then they'll be pardoned, or they can just stay and be executed. And so a lot of them decide to do it, and then when they find out what it is, it's like, do we do it? Do we die? Either way, we got a really high probability of dying, so a lot of them do it, and some shit happens, and I don't want to go too far into it. But it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I said that before. And then the last book that I read was Infinite by Jeremy Robinson. This is about like Earth is, you know, being destroyed, and so we have put everything into science, into making ships and cryosleep a thing and all this other stuff. And so we send out, you know, tens of thousands of people like in these giant ships asleep, you know, to go to hopefully find another planet that's you know, habitable for humans. And then our main character wakes up and he sees like his best friend, and then his best friend stabs him in the chest with a screwdriver, and then guess what? He wakes up with this huge screwdriver, like he dies, right? And then he wakes up with the screwdriver sticking out of him, and it kind of goes from there, and like he dies sometimes, and it's like some stuff happens, and there's an AI, actually there's a couple of AIs on board this ship. Things get really fucking weird for a minute. I'm not gonna lie, it was really good though. And then there's like some virtual reality stuff going on too. Not quite Ready Player One, but a little bit. It was really, really good until I'd say like maybe the last 20 or so percent. It got very kind of almost sort of religion-y. Basically, I didn't like the ending. It kind of really made me mad. I was just like, this is what you came up with to save the story for the ending, and it's, oh my god, fucking stop throwing your religion at me, please. I don't care. So that was meh, but all in all, that was it. It was a fairly decent reading month. My tastes were kind of like all over the place, but it is what it is. And now that's it. That is it. Alright, so thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. I read a whole heck of a bunch of random shit. At least I have been here lately. So yeah, alright, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.